You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Impact Implosion. I'm here with Mike Pullen. We'll be talking about anything TNA related, including tonight's show and the Ring King results from the weekend. Say hi to the people, Mike.
Hello, everybody.
So, I missed the first few minutes of the show, so Mike, tell me what happened on Impact.
Well, what we saw first was a promo from Bobby Roode, where he basically came out and said that he's the It Factor and the leader of the Selfish Generation. He says that he's been champion for about 6 months, and he's beaten AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, Sting, which was a non-title match technically, and James Storm, which happened this past weekend. My problem with
the same old crap.
Yeah, my problem with him saying that he's beaten all these guys is, well, legitimately, he really didn't beat AJ. And although he did beat Hardy, he had help.
And he got freaking lucky against James Storm. You know what? We really should talk about the Lockdown show.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, let's get to the Lockdown results. I missed Lockdown. I only know a few things that happened, so fill us in.
We started with Lethal Lockdown, which was Team Bischoff against Team Bischoff.
Oh, this was the opening match? Damn.
Yes.
Or move.
And it basically killed the show, too. But anyway. Not in a bad way, but they shouldn't have opened with it. They should have found something better to open with. But apparently they didn't have anything better.
This match was perfect where it was.
Yep. Anyway, the match is basically Garrett Bischoff starting off the match and getting beat up for 5 minutes, and then everybody else gets involved, and in the end it's Garrett knocking out Eric Bischoff with the guitar, and
seriously, where did he get that freaking guitar?
It's one of the weapons that's hanging off the cage.
What, did Jeff Jarrett loan it to him?
It's a spare one. And Garrett gets the pin. Eric Bischoff can now no longer use the Eric Bischoff name, as long as, he's on a wrestling show.
So that's why every time they said Eric, beep!
Yes.
It's just like, what the hell?
It's a naughty word. You can't say that. What was next? I don't have the recap in front of me.
Wasn't the TV title match next?
Yes, and why the hell was that even there?
Just because they need to get Robbie E his rematch or something.
Do it on Impact. Don't do it on the pay-per-view.
I agree, but this is the company we're talking about.
And the match was all of like 2 minutes long, so it doesn't matter.
Robbie E loses. Thank God. Bye.
Bye, Robbie. Thanks for coming. We have the women's title, which was Gail Kim versus Velvet Sky, which was okay.
Thank God Gail won.
And it looks like they're actually going to be pushing, we'll get into that later, but Brooke Tessmacher for the next shot.
You know what? She would be a far cry of an improvement from Velvet Sky.
Okay.
Especially in a steel freaking cage.
And actually, the second match on the show was the tag title match.
Oh.
That's the match I was forgetting. Which was Joe and Magnus versus Morgan. No, not Morgan.
Machine Guns.
This match would have been better if they would have saved it for the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, but their tag division's like in complete shambles right now. So what are you going to do?
For months. But anyway, then now we go ahead in the card with Morgan and Crimson, and Crimson wins and remains undefeated. Although I don't think that streak actually really matters anymore.
Probably not, but hey, TNA's got to do something. Since, they keep calling Crimson the undefeated Crimson.
He's the undefeated Crimson 7 months, and he's only had like 25 matches. Yay. Yeah. Yay for undefeated streaks that nobody cares about.
Yeah, anyway. Goldberg laughs at you.
Yes, and Goldberg actually wrestled every week.
Actually, I think although they did inflate Goldberg's numbers to like, what was it, like 700 or something?
175-0, I think.
Yeah, it was like 85 one week, then 90 the next.
They're counting house shows, apparently. They're counting house shows, apparently.
Not even the house shows. I checked. I read the depth of WCW. They just inflated it for no fucking reason.
What was next now? Was it the, wasn't Rude Storm? That was, I think it was Angle Hardy that was next. And this,
yeah.
And Jeff wins with the Swanton off the cage. What a predictable spot that is.
Yeah, but I heard this
He's climbing the cage. I wonder what he's going to do.
Yeah, most times, thankfully, Jeff actually hit this one, because 9 times out of 10, he misses and loses.
And then our main event is Rude versus Storm, which sees Storm super kick Rude out of the cage, and Rude retains.
This ending, I've actually seen this ending, and
it's not bad.
I gotta say for TNA, what the hell are you doing? This ending helped nobody. This ending didn't help Rude. It didn't sure as hell help Storm.
It didn't help Rude, as I just mentioned a minute ago.
It made Storm look like a dumbass.
Yeah, it didn't help Rude, as I mentioned a minute ago before we got into lockdown, because he still didn't have a legit win here as a champion.
Yeah, and Storm looks like a complete dumbass.
Yes. I kicked him and he fell out of the cage.
What the fuck were you expecting? It was right there. The door was open.
I'm reminiscent of when the Big Show threw Austin out of the cage on one of the in-your-house pay-per-views.
You know what? That made more sense than this, because Big Show was freaking powerful.
Oh, yes. The power of the boot.
Door, and Rude didn't fall out of the freaking door. Austin didn't fall out of the door. Rude did. Austin fell out of the freaking side of the cage.
Yep.
So that was less on that was on the strength of Big Show, and oops on that one, but
oopsies.
Yeah. Storm here is just kicking the guy. The door's open, and Rude's he's a few feet from it. And if you super kick him, he's going to go backwards and fall out of the door and win the match.
Yes. And he did.
You know what? This would have been better if it had been a clean finish. So somebody actually looked good in this match.
And now neither man does.
Yeah. That's what I hate about these dumb finishes.
Right.
Because nobody, especially for the main event, because nobody wins.
The fans go home pissed. The few of them that actually ordered the pay-per-view, wondering what the hell happened. And
yeah, it's the same thing WWE did with, although that was the opening segment with Sheamus and Daniel Bryan. That didn't help anybody.
And now they have a 2 out of 3 falls match, which somehow qualifies as an Extreme Rules match.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a gimmick pay-per-view. It's basically WWE's version of Uncensored.
Yes, except without using the name.
Yeah, I know. All right, let's get back to TNA, and let's get into Impact.
And as I started to say before we got into lockdown, Bobby Roode comes out and does a promo, and then Mr. Anderson interrupts to, yes, he just returned a couple weeks ago on Impact, oddly enough against Robert Roode, and beat him, which, would qualify him for a title shot.
He only beat him because Hogan reversed the decision. Rude beat him. Rude beat his ass. I'm still saying Rude beat him.
Yeah. Anderson comes out and says, I want a title shot. And Rude says, well, you have to get in the back of the line. Jeff Hardy comes out and demands a title shot, which Rude beat him 2 months ago.
With his freaking eyes. Let me just say this right now with Jeff. Those eyeball, I don't know how he does those freaking eyeballs on his eyelids. That's just
anyway. Scary. The two of them, Anderson and Hardy, argue like almost like little kids would argue over who's going to get the title shot. And then Hogan comes in and announces that it's going to be Anderson versus Hardy for the title shot at Sacrifice, which the title match will take place at Sacrifice. And then we have Bully Ray and Crimson going over Matt Morgan and Austin Aries. Which Morgan and Aries.
This is where it came in. I just got to say that I think Bully Ray pulled up Austin Aries' shorts a little too high. I think it was basically pantsing the man.
We have another.
Too bad Ciara didn't see it because I think you saw a full view of Austin Aries' rear.
Anyway, we have Team Garrett Bischoff in the ring. Garrett thanks everyone involved for helping him win at Lockdown. And then Flair comes out and says they're going to do some type of party for Eric Bischoff, which includes about 50 bleeps for no reason.
Like I said, I could not get that. And I was saying that the entire show. Why are they beeping?
And, of course, Team Garrett...
Eric, beep!
Yes. Of course, Team Garrett's not invited, which means they'll probably show up anyway.
They will.
Yeah.
By the way, I do gotta say the balls on TNA to have AJ Styles, RVD, and I think it was Ken Anderson, the third guy, basically kissing Garrett Bischoff's ass.
Especially especially with AJ when he's been there for 10 years, and who's this guy that's coming in, just because he's Eric Bischoff's son? We've seen how well that's worked in the past.
By the way,
cough, David Flair.
When Ric Flair came out, he directly said, dude, you're stumbling out here. He's basically calling Garrett out.
Dude, I'm gonna be nice about it, but you're stumbling and you suck. Yeah. Anyway, we have Kurt Angle against AJ Styles, which you would think would be a match that you don't really need any reason to have. But they gave it a reason anyway, with Daniels and Kazarian coming out.
And they got pictures of AJ Styles.
Yay, that's what I want to see.
He's blackmailing Kazarian with pictures of AJ Styles. Well, what is AJ Styles? What are these? And AJ looks at these pictures like, holy crap! What did they find AJ Styles?
On me.
What did they find? AJ Styles with Baby Doll or something? Or maybe they just showed him the old pictures of Dusty Rhodes that Baby Doll had over him for years, and he's looking at him like, ah!
As I try to gain my composure here, Hulk Hogan comes out and announces that I guess once a month they're going to be doing an open fight night, which is basically a night of open challenges.
You know what? This is a good idea.
I thought so too.
This is a good idea. I hope this replaces the pay-per-views, although I know it's not.
No, it's not going to, but they're going to do it probably the week after the pay-per-views. Just like when they did the free...
I can't wait to see who they get. It should be interesting.
It's not the spoilers. I know who it is. Anyway, Hogan says that Rude cuts him off and says that he's running the show around here. Hogan says that Rude and every other champion better be ready to defend their titles next week. And Gail Kim says, well, who gets to decide this? Hogan says, I do.
And by the way, the new talent gets to basically have a story about themselves, basically introduce themselves. And Hogan's 3 judges, probably one of them's Hogan. I guess this is the
Hogan,
new version
Jimmy Hart,
of his celebrity. This is his celebrity wrestling show, I'm guessing now.
It's TNA Idol.
Yeah, where Hogan basically says, "You're a jabroni, get out of my ring." Fail.
Anyway, basically they're gonna do this open fight night thing once a month, and I like the idea. And we segued into a women's match, which was Mickie James, Velvet Sky, Tara, and Brooke Tessmacher, which...
Okay, this was hot.
And it was actually not that bad.
I know, it was. I did like what one person said, it was Team Ass versus Team Tatas.
Against Gail, Kim, Madison, Rain, Sarita, and Rosita.
You know what? Sarita's looking fine. She's looking more fine every day, I gotta be honest. I cannot believe I've overlooked her for so long. Although Miss Tessmacher is looking great, too.
Yep. Tessmacher gets the pin on Gail after Velvet Sky stops her from using the ropes, and Tessmacher rolled her up and scored the pin. Which, it seems like they might be slightly pushing Tessmacher, maybe for a title match at Sacrifice.
All right, Sierra, I'll back off your girl. I have Winter anyway, so we're even. Oh yeah, and I did like the Angry Marks podcast, which basically said, "Who's Captain America woman here? Who's that American woman? Basically Captain America or something." And everyone's like, "Tessmacher."
We have the TV title on the line as Devon defeats Gunner. Apparently that's going to be defended every week now, too, because...
By the way, Gunner, Mr. Intensity. I disagree with that. And before that, we had Gunner and Joseph Park.
That was actually way before that. And I have a problem with this whole Joseph Park thing. Are we supposed to believe that that's not Abyss?
I'm guessing so, but here's the funny thing for me, and this is just completely hilarious to me. Chris Park, is playing Joseph Park, Abyss's brother, who is looking for Abyss.
And nobody's figured this out yet. At least none of the people that work in TNA.
No, I think they know this, and I think they laugh at it.
Look at this, it's Abyss, but he's playing another guy. We have a promo from James Storm, where he says that after lockdown, he had a lot of thoughts running through his head, and basically he ends the promo by saying, "Maybe I'm not good enough," and leaves. So
you know
I
what?
wonder.
I gotta say, this was a good promo.
Yes. I know a lot of people, I know some other people throughout the internet don't like Storm, but this was a decent promo here. And maybe they're going to turn him heel out of frustration for not being able to beat Bobby Roode, which would kind of fuck him over when it comes to contenders, but you know. Your main event is RVD defeating Anderson and Hardy. By the way, I forgot to cover it here, but
RVD gets added.
Yeah, RVD gets added.
I do love that when they said this. Who will win between Anderson and Jeff Hardy? And I said in the side, spoiler, neither. Neither will win.
But they'll probably have a match on Sacrifice because they probably don't have anything else for those two to do right now.
True.
But RVD defeats Anderson and Hardy by pinning Hardy with a backslide, and we end the show with Hardy kind of looking a little angrily walking out.
Yeah, I kind of stopped paying attention really after RVD won.
Mm-hmm. And that's it for this week's Impact. Not a bad show, but
some good ideas, but there are some stupid crap. Oh, we didn't even talk about this. Nope. And I'm sure you were probably hoping to avoid this. The honeymoon.
I skipped it.
I'm sure you were trying to intentionally, but I gotta bring this up. This was stupid. I love
Eric
Eric
Young
Young.
ODB angle is stupid. I'm sorry.
You know what? I loved Eric Young. I liked when he finally decided to stop playing the comic character and finally decided, like, hey, you're going to take me fucking seriously. But you know what? We got to go back
nobody does because they keep bringing him back to the comedy character.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And I did like when he was serious. I thought it was really awesome. I liked World Elite. I don't know why they killed that. Hogan, probably.
Hogan.
Yeah.
Was
that was something really good.
Was that before or after Hogan?
No, it was World Elite died when Hogan came in. Basically, World Elite was missing for all these weeks, and suddenly you had heard that Rob Terry was now the new TV or global champion. You had basically that whole setup and everything, and then Eric Young, for some reason, starts teaming with Kevin Nash.
For no reason.
And
they turn on each other 16 times in like 3 months.
Yeah, basically, that.
Anyway.
And people wonder why I left this company for so long.
And yes, by the way, for some reason they also threw a Knockouts tag title match on Lockdown, which was Eric Young and ODB going over Sarita and Rosita.
Why did Sarita and Rosita not win this one? I don't like this whole thing of Eric Young being a Knockouts champion.
Especially since they tried it with Cody Deaner a couple years ago, and that failed too.
I know. You can say the Knockouts tag titles are a joke, and you are true, but that is true, but it's still a belt.
Take them seriously. Put them on serious women's wrestlers and not Eric Young.
It's still a belt.
Have Eric Young chase after the TV title.
Yeah, then that title went down to hell.
Yes.
Yeah, I even said Devon before the Spike TV feed cut several times for some reason.
Yeah.
I was watching Spike TV, but they were basically Devon was coming out and then cut for some reason blackout and then commercials play.
Is that? Oh no, they went to commercial, but when Devon was coming out.
Well, no, for me, I got a freaking blackout.
Huzzah.
And still Spike TV on the little side when it said it.
You don't want to see this.
Spike TV.
They're warning you in advance. You don't want to see this.
They are. But, yeah, that's basically TNA Impact. There is, and if you're wondering why I'm not doing Spoilers of the Rescue anymore, it's perfectly legitimate. I did Spoilers of the Rescue because I had hope for this company. And now although I was offered this position and it was nice, but also one of the other reasons is I'm just waiting for this company to die, so maybe I can write some notes in for the death of TNA. Whenever that book comes out.
I'm sure Artie and Blade are just waiting to write that.
Yeah. And it could be the same fucking cover.
Except with the Bischoff and the Pope Mobile. Or maybe Pope and the Pope Mobile.
Speaking of which, where the fuck Pope's been? And he's been doing the Batman movie.
Oh, that's where he's been.
Yeah, he has been filming The Dark Knight Returns. He's one of the goons. Not Dark Knight Returns, Dark Knight Rises. He's one of the goons of Bane.
All right.
Yeah, so, if TNA's intelligent, they'd actually start pushing this guy.
But they're not.
Yeah, Nikolai, Pope in a
for
movie
years.
is legit. They've had pictures of him on the side where he is one of the goons. So yeah, he's in Dark Knight Rises, although IMDb doesn't say he is, but he is.
Mm-hmm. You want to go on to Rinka King?
Sure, let's do that. First of all, we got to start with the Saturday episode, which was April 14th. We had a triple threat match between Angelina Love, Raisha, and Alyssa Flash. So yes, Raisha was played by a man again.
Yay! Yay!
But thankfully,
Harvey
Raisha
Whippleman
eats the fucking pin as Angelina rolls her over. So yeah, Ciara, you could be Raisha the man again.
Yes.
So yeah, just next up we had after that match, Romeo Raptor came out there with 3 jeweled necklaces. And then Zorobar comes out trying to give her all his gold jewelry and a hotel room key. Let me just say this about his gold jewelry. I'm sure none of that fits Angelina.
Is this guy Rhett Titus?
Ass, I'm pretty sure that would. It might, but it's still small stuff. Congratulations, you're giving me midget jewelry. But she goes with...
might fit Hornswoggle then.
She goes up the stage with a midget, although this thing ain't over. Yet. Next we had Harbhajan Singh comes to the ring with, yes, he did sign the contract for a match against Jeff Jarrett, where Jeff Jarrett's going to wear a blindfold, but...
Yeah, blindfold match, because those are always good.
Yes, Jeff made the challenge, but yeah, he has yet to sign the damn contract.
Everybody loves blindfold matches.
But here's why he didn't sign the contract yet, so they could have this stuff, where RDX comes out, Singh challenges Jeff to put control of Ring King on the line. The rest of RDX tries to dissuade Jeff, but when Singh calls Jeff a coward, Jeff's ego gets the best of him, and he signs the contract. Singh then says...
RDX? I don't watch Ring... I haven't seen Ring King.
RDX is basically the heel stable of Sir Brutus Magnus, Scott Steiner, Abyss, Deadly Don, and Sanjay Dutt. And also they have a lawyer with them.
Oh, African David Otunga.
No, this is Indian David Otunga. By the way, Singh says this is going to be a no DQ match, and since he is going to make sure RDX can't help Jeff, as he introduces the guy who's going to stand guard for the match, the sumo wrestler named Yamato Toyoma,
Gesundheit.
that's what his name is.
Gesundheit.
No, that's his freaking name. Then we had an interview with the #1 contender for the world title, Mahabali Veera. He won because we didn't talk about this last week, he won a battle royal to become the #1 contender, beating American Adonis. So, yeah, he beat him twice that week. So
who is American Adonis? Is that Chris Masters?
Chris Masters.
Okay. No, I'm not shocked then.
By the way, I should mention that there was another guy named TNT in that battle royal. And I should have mentioned this earlier. TNT is Savio Vega.
Yep.
By the way, Savio Vega has gained a lot of weight.
I've seen him on a few shows around here as a guy they brought in. Yes, he has gained weight considerably.
Yeah. I did not know that until recently.
Recently.
Yeah. So recently that he was TNT. So, yeah, that's my fault. He basically says that he will win the world title and take the belt away from RDX. He also says that tonight, the Bollywood Boys, who are the #1 contenders for the tag titles, will take the tag belts away from RDX as well, because their champions are Abyss and Scott Steiner.
Who are the Bollywood Boys?
The Bollywood Boys are are 2 guys. One speaks Hindu, one can speak English, and they're pretty awesome as a team. They're like the Rockers and stuff.
Okay.
Like the Indian version of the Rockers. They're pretty good.
All right.
They have a double super kick finisher, though.
I bet they got squashed by Abyss and Steiner.
The interviewer asks his opinion on Singh versus Jarrett, and Veera says that Singh is a sportsman. He's a cricket player, so... And by the way, I did check. The reason he's doing this basically is because he got suspended for the entire year in cricket.
Yes, so he has nothing else to do.
And then he will rescue the company away from RDX. So yes, he's the Pac-Man Jones. Just think about that for a minute. We did get a montage setting up the main event, which is the tag team title match, where Abyss and Scott Steiner will defend against the Bollywood Boys. By the way, the Bollywood Boys' entrance has them coming out with a bunch of dancers. And it's really awesome. They have dancers come out with them.
All right.
Yeah, you'd enjoy that. Their opening theme music was awesome, but they kind of changed that theme music for some reason. I don't know. The next week, but then, anyways, the Bollywood Boys defeated Abyss and Scott Steiner to become the new tag champs. For the match, Scott and Abyss, along with Donda, who's their bodyguard, who used to be the commissioner's bodyguard before he turned heel. Not the commissioner, Donda.
Wait, the commissioner was the face?
Commissioner's a face, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Donda turned heel and allow Sir Brutus Magnus to become world champion weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And basically, the Bollywood Boys decided to surprise them with some offense. This was basically a back-and-forth match where it seemed that most of the time the heels were dominant, but every time they think they have this match in hand, the Bollywood Boys surprise them with some more offense. The end comes when it looks like the heels are going to win, but the lights go out. When they come back on, both the ref and Deadly Donda are down. And Vera comes
Undertaker's in Ring of King.
Beating both Abyss and Steiner with a 2x4. Vera leads the ring before the ref gets back up. And the Bollywood Boys double super kick Scott to the outside and double super kick Abyss in the ring for the pin. The tag champs celebrating the ring as this one ends.
Hey, the little guys beat the big guys.
Yep. Then we had the April 15th show, which started off with RDX talking with the Outlaw Isaiah Cash. If you're wondering, that's Luke Gallows.
Ah, Festus.
Yeah, he's basically it's Luke Gallows in a biker gimmick.
Oh, Disciple of Apocalypse.
Jeff tells Cash they have one problem, and that is Jwala, who is this Indian guy who's basically crazy. So they need the Outlaw to take him out.
Mm-hmm.
I should note that despite losing the belts yesterday, for some reason in this segment, Abyss and Scott Steiner still have possession of them.
Oops.
Continuity.
Wonderful work.
Cash then asks Jeff what his last name is, and Jeff gets what he's trying to say, so he pays him off to do the job. Yeah. Then we have an in-ring interview with Mahabali Veera. He first acknowledges that the Bollywood Boys are the new tag team champions, although with that last segment, you could question that.
Maybe they taped that before they taped the title match.
I think they did, and that's really stupid, personally. Veera then says that he plans on becoming the next world champion and soaks in all the cheers. Finally, he says Singh is going to beat Jeff Jarrett tonight and end his reign as the guy who runs Ring of King. By the way, Jeff Jarrett won the company in a War Games match, where his team beat the Ring of King team. If you're wondering. Sir Brutus Magnus comes out, who is the world champion there. He's tag champion in TNA, world champion in Ring of King.
He's a busy
comes
man.
out accompanied by the RDX lawyer and Sanjay Dutt. Magnus says that this is right, as an Englishman, to tell this Indian crowd to sit down and shut up.
Boo!
Yeah, they are. Yes, they are playing the old English over Indian old feud there, which is smart. He then talks trash to Vera, who basically says that Magnus says that he has the power and Vera is nothing. And that because of that, Vera will never beat him for the world title. Magnus actually can speak some Hindu and tells Vera to get out of the ring in Hindu.
Thank you, come again.
I don't know what he actually says because I don't speak Hindu, but that's what Magnus basically said, get out of the ring. Because he
Google
pointed
translation.
out. So yeah, he speaks Hindu. Magnus can speak that, so I was surprised by that. Vera responds by clearing the ring of all three members of RDX and posing with the world title.
And what's our first match on the show?
Well, we ain't got that yet. Because then we have a backstage interview with Harbhajan Singh, basically saying he's going to beat Jeff Jarrett and end RDX's reign. Matt Morgan comes in and tells Singh good luck, and he hopes he wins. We get another backstage interview. We get a backstage interview with Angelina Love saying that next week her dream will be realized because she mentioned that she has always wanted to have a traditional Indian wedding.
Who's she marrying?
No one knows. It's either Zorovar or Romeo Rapta, or the Indian midget and the Indian Romeo, the Indian love guy,
or both.
Yeah, Indian culture. Actually, Indian culture is only one male gets to marry. It's not that way. It's not the way you get to marry two men. I don't think that works that way. Anyway, Zorovar comes in and basically says that nobody will love her the way he will, and that don't look at his height, look at his heart. You know?
Oh, so he's the one we're supposed to like in this one.
Kind of.
She won't choose him.
Like, both of them are faces, by the way.
Oh, wonderful.
So yeah, it's a love triangle. And even worse here, as I should mention, Angelina Love doesn't know a bit of Hindu, and basically that's all Zorovar says, so the backstage interviewer has to translate for her. So yeah. You know, you're going to India. I know you're in this storyline. At least know a bit of Hindu.
Learn the culture.
Yeah, a lot of people do. Although next up we have our first match.
How long into the show was this?
I don't. It was basically a short match, a 8-man tag match between the Sheiks, who are Sheikh Abdul Bashir and his brother, Sheikh Mustafa Bashir, with the real Raisha this time, as not as their partner, but as their manager. Hollywood and Broadway, who are the team, basically their real names, you will know them as Joey Magnum, who's Hollywood, and Little Nunzio is Broadway.
So it's Joey Ryan and... who's the other one? Nunzio?
Little Guido.
Ah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
They face Barood, who... Max B's basically their Indian gimmick of a mixed martial artist. And the Mumbai Cats. I seriously have to explain the Mumbai Cats gimmicks. They are a masked wrestling tag team.
Of
and
cats.
Their gimmick is that they act like cats. And their names are Puma and Leopard.
Oh, this sounds ridiculous.
Once again, Barood, because this is his gimmick basically at this point, eats the pin after missing a senton bomb, and Mustafa gets the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Barood has a gimmick where he loses every match.
Yes.
By the way, he's not done for the night. We then get another backstage interview with Angelina Love, and this time it is Romeo Rapto who is trying to woo her. Thankfully, though, Romeo knows a bit of English. Go figure. Romeo tries to woo Angelina too, and in my perfect opinion, it's quite obviously that Angelina has more in connection with Romeo than Zorovar, so that means she'll probably end up marrying the midget. Speaking of which, Zorovar interrupts this moment by singing a song to Angelina as we end that segment. Yeah.
The Ballad of Angelina.
Backstage, we see Juwala planning on foiling the plan that Cash takes him out, that he's going to beat him up and he's going to be the next Ring of King champion. However, his promo gets interrupted by Cash, who grabs him and drags him into the bathroom. Insert your Ben Roethlisberger joke here.
Oh, no.
And with all the sounds we hear, we can only assume that Cash is taking out Juwala.
Or it's like the JBL Hornswoggle segment from a couple years back.
Take that, Juwala. Take that. Although, yeah, I don't want to think the other option. We then see Sanjay on the phone saying that Jeff is going to beat Singh tonight. So, yeah, that match is also tonight, so... Then we had Outlaw Isaiah Cash versus Juwala, which was supposed to happen, but Juwala probably still recovering from the attack, so he never shows up. So instead, Barood decides to pull double duty, taking Juwala's place. The Outlaw Isaiah Cash beats him with a double arm choke slam. Afterwards, Cash continues to beat up Rude until the Bollywood boys come in to make the save. Cash tries to leave, but another tag team, basically Pathani Pathe. These are guys who are basically, I think their theme music's basically honking horns. So I'm guessing they're a taxi gimmick.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything more than that. And they basically do squats all the time. So they throw Cash in the ring to continue to get his ass kicked by the tag champs. Cash finally escapes, and the Bollywood boys and Pathani Pathe dance. We have our main event, which is a no DQ match between Singh and Jeff Jarrett, where Jeff Jarrett wears a blindfold. Singh beats him, and here's how he beats him. Before the match, Singh tells Jeff that this could be his last night at Ring of King, and that kind of worries Jeff. So, with the blindfold on, Singh pulls a switcheroo and replaces himself with Mahabali Veera.
And Jeff can't tell the difference.
Yeah, Jeff can't tell the difference, so Veera beats the shit out of him. And then Singh comes back in the ring and says this is a no DQ match. The referee has a thumb up his ass, basically. So he counts Singh on Jeff Jarrett for the 3 count. So the match shows ends with Jeff stunned as Singh celebrates on the ramp. The end of those 2 shows.
Yay.
How fun with this than Impact?
Yep.
Jeff, only 2 females, actually only 3 females work in Ring of King. Mickie James has actually shown up a few times, although she got her rear end kicked and basically assaulted. So now...
They call her fat and Hindu?
What?
So did they call her fat and Hindu?
No. No. Actually, Ring of King's actually better than WWE in that instance. Although they have a freaking sumo wrestler who's in sumo garb, so without the robe...
He's fat.
No, you can imagine... Remember the Big Show match?
With Akibono?
Akibono and those sumo garb? This sumo garb has the same kind of garb.
Lord.
Yeah. They had him a few weeks with a robe, and then now he's off. The robe's off. So that's the end of Ring of King. Let me see if we got any TNA news. Come on. Come on, show me. Let's see what we got.
Nobody cares.
Well, somebody's got to care. Come on.
Apparently, Bully Ray's in line for a title push.
What?
I was reading that. I said apparently Bully Ray's in line for a title push.
They want to put Bully Ray as the new... They actually want to get him a world title reign, which I wouldn't mind. Although...
I can actually see if they bring it back for Slammiversary, them planting seeds for King of the Mountain here. With the fact that they have Anderson and Hardy and RVD, and they have Storm, and they have Bully Ray, and they have Robert Roode.
I would actually like the idea of seeing Bully Ray as champion, because he has... in the feud between Devon and Bully Ray, which one's the Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty? Bully Ray's clearly the Shawn Michaels of these two.
Yes.
And I mean, he's the better promo guy. He is the better guy. He is the
and
better
Devon's
star.
just there.
Devon's just there, yeah. But Bully Ray's freaking awesome right now as this character.
Yes, I like it.
Yeah, I do as well. Let me see. News. Tracy Brooks got released again.
She was still there?
Apparently so. But they removed her name from the roster, so she's out.
You know what? There's got to be some kind of joke about Tracy and doorknobs.
Originally, I made a joke about that's probably what Daniels had on Kazarian. Pictures of Tracy Brooks sleeping with somebody else.
Oh, I thought you were going to say pictures of Tracy Brooks with sacks full of doorknobs. Doorknobs.
Doorknobs. Anything else?
Let's see. Nothing that I see, but I will mention that the Go Home show, those fans were actually alive, so... And Lockdown, the fans were dead, so... Can't blame it on the Impact Zone, really.
Can blame it on the fact that they kicked off with Lethal Lockdown, and I probably
maybe. Although you'd think that the combined effort of Austin
nobody
Aries...
cares about Garrett Bischoff.
You'd think the combined efforts of Austin Aries, Ken Anderson, Jeff Hardy... Jeff Hardy. RVD and AJ would cancel out the crappiness of Garrett Bischoff.
And it doesn't. He's
No.
David Flair.
Except David Flair, I think, even had more talent than this guy.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, Kurt Angle's out of the Olympic trials because he's hurt.
Terrific.
Despite the fact he's still wrestling.
He's apparently going to be wrestling AJ at Sacrifice.
Yeah.
So what was the point of having their match tonight? Other than this stupid... What's in the envelope?
I don't know. That probably was the point of that match. Was to show AJ that, they have evidence on AJ!
Who cares? Other
what?
than maybe 3 people in the audience.
Although I will say this, that probably was the best call to put Bischoff in that match and have Garrett pin Bischoff, because Garrett pinning any of the other guys would have been
Garrett pinning Bully Ray.
Preferring the other guys, because basically you had on Bischoff's team Bully Ray, Gunner, Daniels, and Kazarian. So any of those guys getting job to Garrett Bischoff would have been a demotion.
Mm-hmm.
So thankfully Bischoff took the pin on it for his own son. Thankfully.
You know what?
And now
Speaking of...
he's gone for probably 2 months. Because it won't be forever.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of sons, let me throw this out there for you guys, just for some shits and giggles here. Most disappointing son as a professional wrestler. Garrett Bischoff,
Flair.
or David Flair, or Sean Stasiak.
I'd say
Stasiak.
Planet Stasiak.
Because he had some potential. He wasn't just thrust in the ring. He had some wrestling in him.
He just had no personality to back it up.
Yeah, well, he had Planet Stasiak, which was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And basically, he gets fired because he's taping his car rides. You did hear about that, right?
He's taping his car rides. What?
Basically, he had a camera in his car, and he was taping conversations he had while he was carpooling for other wrestlers.
Yeah, I remember.
Do not pay attention to the camera.
Oh, this is...
And that's supposedly why they fired him.
No, it wasn't a camera, it was a tape recorder.
Oh,
And
yeah, tape recorder, that's what it was. But he was taping conversations.
Yeah, he was recording conversations that they were having
So
in the car.
While the building are you running into tonight, Sean?
Wow.
But yeah, that's Impact. I think that's a great first episode of Impact Implosion.
Yep.
Honestly, I don't think I've ever laughed so much at TNA. Seriously. Good job, guys.
Well, we gotta have some humor, because the company doesn't.
Yes, indeed. All right. Anybody want to plug anything before we get out of here?
Sure, why not? Next of all nights, next Thursday night, I have a show that I'm going to for Pro Wrestling Maine featuring Tatanka, the Headbangers, Sonny. The Battle of TV Superstars is Mike Bennett battles Robbie E. We have a four-way match involving ECW superstar Chris Hamrick against Mark Moment, Scott Vegas, and Maxwell Chicago. And we have a scaffold match where the participants haven't been announced yet. And
I have the poll right now on Monster Crap where I'm getting my next film to be what's going to be the next film to be inducted, and by this Sunday I will have the induction of Graveyard Shift.
And also May the 4th, IWE back in Cornville, featuring a return match for the as well as a ladder match between the Tenacious 2 and the Towers of Pain. Hopefully they don't actually destroy the building like they tried to in Brewer the last time out. And then, speaking of Brewer, we have the return to Brewer May 5th, featuring the return of the Lethal Lottery Battle Royal, as well as the team of Robbie Ellis and Frankie Flash against Ricky Williams and Gene Jarreau. The tag titles
Ricky Williams, a football player?
No, Mr. Canada Ricky Williams. The wrestler.
Okay.
No, not the football player. Anyway. And we have the tag titles on the line as Scotty Vegas and Viper the American Ninja challenge the champions, Fantastic Kyle Huntley and Killer Kyle Krupp. And the main event is Team IWE represented by Sonny Roselli, Jive and G, and the Captain against Ryan Michaels, Andy McKenzie, and Cactus representing Team Global Championship Wrestling or whatever it's called. And that's what I've got, and I think I'm done. If anybody else has anything.
I got one more thing, because I did not mention this on my Impact. A lot of people changed their haircuts. Samoa Joe had a mohawk.
Bobby Roode.
Yeah, Bobby Roode had short hair. And Kazarian basically shaved a lot of his hair off.
Yes.
What is going on? Well, I do get the Kazarian one because I heard a lot of people saying Kazarian had a bit of a bald spot.
Good music.
Well, that's all we have, so Join us next week, although, are you going to be in next week?
Me?
Yeah.
I should be. I'm just not sure. Because I should be home in time to do the show. It's just, I'm not sure what time I'm going to have the recap in.
Alright, I'll try to basically, so next week, we'll try to see how Impact Implosion, and we'll see if Mike...
If I'm not here next week, I'll be here the week after.
Oh, you won't hear next week? Oh.
No, I will be here next week. I'm saying if I'm not sure what time I'm going to be at. I'm going to keep confusing people.
Alright, next week he'll be here, so next week we'll all be here. Same time, same channel.